Sophia, it's time to rank every episode in season 2 of The Walking Dead. There was some bad ones, some good ones, some great ones, and we have to kick off with the bad ones because that's how it goes. You go
Well,
for
that's
worst to
normally
best.
how it does go. Like when you're ranking these episodes, we normally start with the bad ones.
If we kicked off with the best, you wouldn't tune into the last ones,
No,
would
you'd be
you?
like, fuck that. I don't want to see 3 episodes talking about Sofia.
No, you wouldn't. But coming in 13th place, it is episode 4 of season 2, and that is Cherika Rose, baby. And literally, hee-haw happens in this episode, right?
Like, I think 4, 5, and 6 are similar, but this one takes the cake for the simple reasoning it's absolute filler. At least other stuff happens in 5 and 6. At least in 5, you get Meryl. 6, you have Rick and Laurie have that talk. It's nothing happens.
In this, right, they take a walker out the well, they go to the pharmacy, alright, and maybe at the end, right, you can argue Laurie knows she's pregnant, but you kind of already knew that. It wasn't a big fucking reveal. You know?
Yeah, why do you think she's asking
exactly
Glenn to go to the pharmacy in the first place?
Like imagine, say it turned out she wasn't, and been like, the episode even fucking worse, and it's already in last place, so...
Glenn would have risked his life for nothing. And then he spends the entire episode trying to get a walker out of a well. I mean, honestly. And like, what was the whole point? They're like, oh, we can't use this well if this walker's in it. But they're going to use the well once they get the walker out. Surely the walker's been contaminated.
But it doesn't make any sense, man. That really doesn't make any sense. But coming in next is episode 6 of season 2. It is Secrets. Again, there actually is some decent stuff in this to a degree. You've got Glenn telling Dale about the walkers, and then when he's going to tell the rest of the group about it, you've got Dale stirring him out.
Aye, it's pretty good. He's like, I got something to tell you. And then Dale's like, come on, do it, Glenn. Glenn, do it. Do it. Do it now.
Do it. Do it. But of course, he doesn't do it until the very start of the next episode, so we can't really factor that wee bit in, but we'll factor a wee bit in.
Plus, again, the main focus of this, whether we like it or not, is the search for Sofia.
Yeah, and Sofia just... I mean, I don't know what else they would have done in season 2 without Sofia, but god damn it, Sofia, you absolutely suck. This is the episode, though. We have Rick and Laurie having that discussion. And, of course, to talk about Shane while Rick was in the coma, brother. Oh, yeah, Rick. Rick's no happy, is he?
No, he's no.
And that's pretty much what really happens in this episode. And, you know, we'll get Glenn and Dale kind of talking to Herschel about the fact that he does have the walkers in the barn, but again, nothing particularly major going on. But then next up we have Chupa Cabra. This is the previous episode before 6 with Daryl basically looking for Sofia. This is where he runs into Merle. We've got the horse, the rattlesnake, he falls off it. Good night. Thoughts on that? Did Merle carry this episode very much?
I know he did. It was good seeing Meryl in the hallucinations with Daryl, but I thought we also got some good Rick and Shane scenes when they were out searching for Sofia, and Rick and Shane basically disagreed on what we should do. Shane thought they were wasting time getting everyone to look for Sofia when the likelihood is, look, after 48 hours you're looking for a body, and that was back then.
When the world was normal.
Before the world went to shit. So I think that out of the three, let's say the three Sofia search based episodes, I think this one was the best, especially with Meryl in it. You know, I think 5 and 6 is pretty close, but
also in this one
I'll give the edge to this one because Meryl.
Also in this one you've got the dinner scene where it's like incredibly awkward, and then you get Maggie passing Glenn the note, then he goes to the barn, and then this is where we get the discovery of all the walkers in the barn.
So yeah, no, for me this one, I think 4 is clearly the worst. I think 6 is a little bit better than 4, and I think 5 is a little bit better than 6.
Yeah, I mean, none of them... I mean, I don't know what we actually rated them at the time, but I'd be shocked if any of them got above a 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought this one was alright.
Did you?
I did. I thought 5... I don't think 5 and 6 is as bad as 4. I think 4 was really bad.
Well, that's where it comes in. Meryl, you couldn't... I mean, I wish you were in more of the season. I mean, would it not have been... I mean, I know it kind of leaves a bit more mystery for season 3 about Meryl, but... Could we have got a bit more of Merle in this season?
True, I don't know. But I mean, how else would you get him unless you're getting him in Daryl's hallucination?
We had a few more flashbacks and we saw Ed and stuff, so I mean, there's no real reason why we couldn't have seen Merle in those.
It would have been what I would have liked. We didn't even get to see one flashback in the entire show with Rick and Meryl. Meryl and Daryl at the camp.
Could we not got a flashback of where we see the group preparing to leave for Atlanta when they meet Rick just before they leave?
Yeah. Again, yeah, it would be nice to have seen Meryl and Daryl at the camp we never get Meryl and Shane together in a scene either. I mean, it would have been nice to have just to seen a flashback, even if it's like short, just to see how those two. I know how they would have got on with each other, but you know, it would have been nice to have seen them interact. We didn't get that, but yeah.
Yeah, and coming in at number 10, we've got Bloodletting. In this episode, Rick is basically just pumping blood into Carl while Shane and Otis leave to a walker-infested school. And again, in this episode, yeah, they get caught while at the school, and it kind of ends on that cliffhanger of them like caught in the wee, what do you call it, the fence area.
I feel like this one is like sort of stuck in the middle from the, well, it's bang in the middle really from the premiere in episode 3, but
it is filler, but it's like a stopgap filler.
Yeah, it's like episode 1 ends.
It is crucial to the story, but it's not.
It's good, but it's kind of. I feel like the episode that precedes it and the episode that follows it is both are a lot better. So it's kind of like just stuck in the middle of two better episodes, but it was still okay.
It was good, and yeah, you know, it ends on that cliffhanger, and of course it was, you know, it was touch and go to see if Carl was going to survive. Carl. Coming in 9th is the episode of Trigger Finger. It comes in at 9th, and it is episode 9. Of course, we've got basically the entire shootout at this like town that Herschel's in. So we get, what do you call that group? I don't even know what you call them, but we've got
Dave and Tony's group.
Dave and Tony's group. That's it. Rick. I actually enjoyed the shootout, but it only lasts about 10 minutes, and then they just fuck off, and that's kind of it, isn't it?
10 minutes, I think it's a stretch.
Well.
Fucking 3 or 4 minutes.
Again, another very stupid decision of taking Randall back to the group, and then you kind of just get that scene of like the red, like Jeep pulling up, and they're like, "What is that?" Shane, of course, is like raging at this, and people in this episode are beginning to notice that Shane is becoming more unhinged. Maybe because of the fact that the entire group has got
making
their head.
Stupid decisions.
Exactly. You know, that is it. That is it to the core. Coming in though at number 8, it's episode 8. It's Nebraska. Herschel demands that Rick's group leaves. Of course, this is straight after the entire barn massacre. Rick shot Sofia. Shane is basically the only guy getting hate here, despite the fact that, like, you know, they all took part in it. But fuck Shane. I want Shane gone, brother.
I think this episode started really well and it finished well.
But the middle
did drag on. But I thought the start of this episode with you pick up from where they left off after, you know, the whole barn shootout, thought it was really good. I was handling it. You had us out there looking for a little girl that everyone knew was gone. That's what you did. You know what I mean? I thought it started good. Then you had the end with they're in the bar. They're trying to get Herschel. They're trying to get back to the farm. Herschel is going back to his alcoholic ways, and then we get introduced to Dave and Tony, who become a bit hostile. Rick has to end up killing them after they pull guns on Rick. So I mean, the start of the episode I thought was great, and I thought the ending was great. But I felt like in between, it did let it down. If the middle was stronger, I mean, I think this would be one of the best episodes of the season. But the middle was weak.
Yeah, the middle was very weak, and that brings us to number 7. We're basically at the halfway point. No, we are at the halfway point. It is Judge, Judy, Executioner. It is Dale's last stand, or should I say, piss struggle with a walker that looks like an Ethiopian. It wasn't very good for Dale, but Carl's the one that really got him killed. Of course, Randall throughout this episode is being tortured. It's basically Randall's being tortured. The group are deciding what to do with Randall. Dale
honestly, what was the point of bringing Randall back just to torture him? Would have been more merciful just to put a bullet in his head.
I know, absolutely. But with Dale here, Dale is basically, yes. I mean, I understand why he's taking it bad and he's like having a wee like hissy fit about it. But come on, the fuck, Dale. Look at the world we're in here. Can you not kind of see it from that point of view? Like, I know we're torturing a kid and we should have just left him behind, but do you think he stormed out like a bit of a shite bag rather than just argue his point a bit more? Even though you could argue, he did all the arguing.
Well, I think he did. I think he argued his point as much as he could. I mean, they obviously just did not agree with Dale. And when Glenn, I think Dale thought that, you know, Glenn would always be on his side. When Glenn is not even on Dale's side, I think that was Dale's cue to leave. Andrea changed her mind later on, but wasn't enough. I guess they got outvoted 2 to however many other people there were. It is a bit fucking harsh though, killing the guy. Like, I mean, although technically he was shooting at Rick and Herschel and Glenn in the first place, so
then they should have just left him, right? And also, if you're just going to torture him, kill him for fuck's sake. I mean, that's what they did. They essentially tortured him for a couple of episodes, man. Disgraceful behaviour for these guys, but it will also be known this episode as Dale's last episode, and I did, as sad as it was, it was kind of a weak death, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can kind of tell this was a death that was like written quickly in. I mean, the fact that this walker sneaks up on Dale in the middle of the night and open world, and this walker gets to jump on Dale. It's not like we were in the woods or anything like that, where it sneaked up on him, literally like right in the middle of the farm, right in the middle of an open field, and somehow this walker manages to get close enough to Dale without him seeing it.
Brutal death, like rips his stomach open, man. Don't even want to think about it, man. But coming in at number 6, we have the premiere. We have episode 1. This episode used to be very highly rated here, but again, I like it, but I think the episode is very overrated. Like, not a lot happens. Like, the herd passes through, Rick tells Sofia to fuck off, basically, and then that's kind of it. Then the group kind of go looking for Sofia, but not an awful lot happens apart from Carl gets shot. Good episode, but do you not think it is overrated?
Yeah, it's not great. I think you see the herd and you think, oh, finally something's really going to go down here. But the herd pretty much passes on. Only one walker really gets involved with Andrea in the RV. I mean, it's a good episode, but I think when it's a premiere, you do hold it a little bit higher than you would the average episode. So, I mean, if this is episode 2, then you might think more highly of it. But because it's episode 1, I think you just kind of expect a wee bit more. And again, like, more than half this episode is literally them like searching the woods looking for Sophia. This is like the first kind of episode where they search for Sophia. It's not like Sophia gets lost like at the end of the episode. Literally before the halfway point is when she makes a run into the woods and gets separated.
Yeah, I know.
Then they look for her, they find a church, and you know they pray for Sophia, and then they split up. They go back to the highway where Rick and Shane continue to look. Then Carl does get shot, like, but yeah, I know. Looking back, I mean, a lot of that. There was like half an hour where they literally just looked for Sophia.
Don't know whether if we talked about this in the actual review, but Rick's stupidity with Sophia is also what led to Carl getting shot.
Yeah, I just don't know what Rick's plan was. 2 walkers. He didn't even have to take them out. He says to Sophia, like, you know, I get wind that they don't. I mean, all he had to do, like, they're not even that fast. All he literally had to do was like grab Sophia, run around them, and just run back to the highway. And if they follow them to the highway, then there's more than enough able bodies on the highway to put them down.
I get wind that they don't. He literally ran through the middle of the woods to the farm, carrying Carl without getting winded.
Well, it's amazing what you can do when your son gets shot.
Damn it. But yeah, beside the dying fire, up next in the top 5, here we go. And what an episode this was, or was it? The first half is kind of just needlessly wasting ammo, killing walkers. Oh, but Trev's touching himself. But they're zombies, damn it. I will see you out of proportion, freak show bastard. Zombies ain't everything. Take it away, fat man.
I just think it's mad that you can launch all these F-bombs and insults, yet I make a little joke on my channel about someone's sexuality and I'm the bad guy. But anyway, we'll move on.
I'm the bad guy.
I wouldn't say anything bad about Trev, but yeah, anyway, this episode...
Mate, he blocked you from his chat.
Ah well, no hard feelings. I mean, good episode, but again, I feel like the pacing's a little bit off. Like, all the action happens at the start, and then like the end is kind of like the aftermath. And I did like the end with Rick, but like we're all infected, and then but it was weird. I mean, you've got Laurie who like literally, what, 6 episodes ago was telling Rick to kill Shane, and now she's like annoyed with Rick for killing Shane, even though it was close to self-defense. It's like I just don't understand why Rick's like, I killed my best friend for you people, and like Laurie almost like looks like she hates Rick for this. And then when we've got Rick and they're running out of gas and they're running out of options, they don't know where to go, and then Carol is telling Rick, you're supposed to be our leader, do something, and it's like, what have you ever done?
Didn't you look for your daughter, dickhead?
I mean, at this point, if I was Rick, I would have probably just ejected Carol from the group. For that attitude alone, I'd have been like, you know what, get the hell out of here. That's just, yeah, I'd have been like, fuck you. You're out of here. Well, who's Carol to tell Rick what to
see
do?
if this is actually real life. I mean, I know she might not say it if it is this case, but could you imagine her saying this if it was like Woodbury or if it was Negan's crew?
Well, but Rick has to turn around and say, like, what have you done? What have you contributed to this group? Ever since we left the camp, you've had no clothes to wash. Like, what have you done?
No, but even at this point, it's kind of woke, man. It is. Why wouldn't Rick say that? I can't think of a TV show where like the person went, "But what the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, Rick was the one who was looking for her daughter. Rick actually felt bad. I mean, what was she doing? Like, she done nothing. Rick kind of gives them all like an ultimatum. He says that they can leave and try and go out on their own, or they can stay with him. But if they do stay with him, it's not going to be a democracy anymore. It's going to be Ricktatorship or whatever he called it. So I mean, yeah, it was a nice wee promo for Rick.
I enjoyed it, guys. I enjoyed it for Ricky boy. Rick carried this episode, man. It's 18 miles out in at number 4. I like this episode. Rick and Shane finally come to blows, and it kind of gets diffused a wee bit at the end. But Shane, good foreshadowing. It looks at the field, sees the Walker walking alone. Is that what he's going to become, or is that what he is already with the group? It was good. We thought Shane was going to get left behind by Rick, but then him and Randall show up. Some great dialogue throughout the episode. Good wee brawl as well. Beth tries to commit suicide under Andrea's watch, and then Maggie and Laurie step in. The dishes were already cleaned, so they step in, they save Beth's life. We're all safe. No F-bombs here, guys. We're safe.
Plus, this is like the introduction of Rick using like non-gunfire to kill a walker. I'm not saying, obviously they've used like weapons before that aren't guns, but they have the option to use their gun, and then Rick's like, no, don't do that. We need to save bullets, plus noise will attract them. Then we see like Rick cutting his hand and using the blood to lure the walkers over to the fence, and then he stabs them. Now, for a time during this period, there was like rumours going on, speculation that Rick ended up giving Shane the knife that he stabbed the walker with, so when Shane cut his hand, he got infected. And I think there was a hint of truth in that, because like you can see in the episodes after this, like Shane does seem to become like acting a little more unhinged. And he just looks a bit more battered and bruised, and I guess getting punched a lot of times by Rick doesn't exactly help his cause. But like I do think see when people are saying, oh, they think Shane's infected, I do think you could have believed it.
No, you could have, but there's just other times throughout the show where it's completely cancelled this out. Like there's times they don't acknowledge scratches.
Up until this point.
Up until this point.
Obviously after season 2, you rule that out. But I'm saying up to this point of the show, I think that was believable when people were suggesting that Shane was infected because he used Rick's knife that Rick stabbed the zombie with. As we know, later you get into the show, we've seen them covered with... Because remember, like, see episode 2, season 1, he's like, Rick's like, don't get any of the blood on your skin. But when him and Glenn are going through, trying to get through the, like, the city of walkers, but obviously we see in later seasons where you can literally just, grab a machete and hack your way through zombies, get the blood in your eyes, any sort of open pores, and nothing happens to you. But I think at this stage of the show, we weren't really sure of that.
See, I believe actually in All Out War, Negan tells the Saviors to cover their weapons in the guts to infect the Rick's crew and stuff.
I think he does.
So again, plot holes, big issues. But we've kind of
seen that doesn't really do anything, because there's been many a times. Like, how many times is like Rick had like zombie blood or whatever all over his face?
I know. Like when Laurie dies, man, he goes on rampages and nothing happens. But yeah, talking about rampages, episode 7 of the show, the mid-season finale. Shane opens the barn door. It ain't like it was before, brother.
You want to fight? You want to survive? You got to fight for it right here, right now.
I don't like the fact that Rick took his thunder though and killed Sofia.
I don't think Shane really wanted to kill Sofia. I'm not saying he bottled it, but he kind of hesitated.
Like, I know Rick's the main character, but that's... I know it's like the fitting image, Rick stepping up to do it, but I don't know, there's just something I didn't like about it.
Maybe it was like redemption for Rick, or... Well,
I'm the one that got you killed, so I'll kill you again.
No, it's that Rick felt like he had to do it, he had to be the one, since he kind of like maybe felt partially responsible for what happened.
True.
Well, honestly, I think if Shane does it, they look at Shane as like, oh, you're heartless, how could you do that? You've just killed Sofia in front of her mother. Whereas I think because Rick does it, they kind of portray it more as like, it's a mercy kill. Even though Sofia's a zombie at this stage, it doesn't matter. But But I think if Rick, I mean, I think if Shane after Sophia, I think if Sophia walks at the barn and Shane thinks they're all dead, and Shane looks up and he sees and he just pulls out the gun, shoots on the head. I think they kind of turn on Shane.
Probably.
But
It would have been funny if Herschel killed Sophia, and then he's like, well, you killed 20 of my family members, so...
I'm killing one of yours.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And then Shane's like, make that 21, Otis. But anyway.
21?
Speaking of Otis, is it time?
Aye, it is time. It's more than time, aye. Otis.
Gotta save the last one.
Shane.
Unless Otis is the one, of course.
Tell you what, like, these Shane heavily featured episodes are all making the top.
So there seems to be a common denominator here. Like, if Shane features in a lot of the episodes are going to be good.
Exactly, but yeah, save the last...
Funny enough, the episode where Shane's ankle's fucked and he doesn't really do anything is the episode we put worst on the list.
Well, there you go.
Shane pretty much doesn't do anything in this episode apart from give a nice wee speech about Otis, and then he joins in helping Glenn and...
that's episode 4, mate. No, it's episode...
I'm just saying, right?
I'm just saying, but it comes out at number 2, save the last one. Of course, very good. I feel like in terms of an actual horror episode, The Walking Dead, with walkers being chased at night time, it doesn't get much better than this episode.
It felt like this was the first of its time. I felt like this was a unique episode. I didn't feel like up to this point we'd really seen like anyone in the group being... we've seen them surround it and at the camp, I guess, that night, and we've seen them surround it when they were in Atlanta, but they never really had to interact with the zombies. They created a diversion. Yeah, it's like this was like Shane and Otis like trapped in a school.
2 against 5,000.
Outnumbered, trapped, odds against them. This felt like a survival episode. It did feel like the first of its time, and I don't know, I can't really think of many episodes after this that feel similar, to be honest. So it definitely had a unique feeling to it. And then like the twist at the end is great as well, and you can't help feel bad for Otis. I think Otis, pretty sure we ranked him well into the top 10 in our season 2 character list, and for a guy that literally appeared in only 2 episodes, he had a big impact in season 2 in my opinion. I liked the actor that played Otis.
Yeah, absolutely, he was very good.
And I felt sorry for the guy that he had to go.
No, it was you know what? Up there with the saddest deaths in The Walking Dead, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it was such a hot...
That's the whole show, like, I'm not talking...
It's such a bad death he got, like, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
People greeting about Abraham, and even Glenn. I didn't really care when he killed them too. Spoiler alert. Felt more when Otis died.
Yeah, because I feel by the time you get to that time in the show, like, you don't really care about them anymore.
Yeah, I never cared about Abraham once, but that brings us to Better Angels. Rick puts Shane down.
I feel like if someone put Glenn down in season 2, you'd care more. Yeah. I think by the time you get season 7, or season 6 in the end, you're like, I don't really care about Glenn.
No, I think that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, but coming in at number 1, it is Better Angels. It's Shane's final episode, and I mean, just another heavily featured Shane episode. Great episode, and the confrontation at the end, the showdown at the end between Shane and Rick, just phenomenal. Where Shane's like, he's a better father than Rick, he's better for Laurie, he's better for Carl. He says,
you messed it up, Rick. You messed it up.
I thought you were going to fight for him, Rick. Even right here, right now, you ain't going to fight for her? I'm a better father than you, Rick. I'm better for Laurie than you, man. You just come back and you destroy everything. So, I mean, great. I think Shane is... I actually think Shane's easily the best character The Walking Dead's produced, hands down. I don't think anyone comes close. And there is characters I like in The Walking Dead, but for me, like, the character and the level of acting that he brought to the character... I mean, we always say that in Sons of Anarchy, if Ron Perlman didn't play as Clay, it would have like almost been showrunning. Or if not showrunning, like the character Clay would just not be anywhere near as good as it is. And I feel you can say the exact same about Shane here.
I feel like with Shane it's way worse. I feel like in Sons, it would have sucked if it wasn't Ron Perlman, but the concept of the show still would have worked.
Plus, there's a lot of other great characters that I think would have made up for not having a great Clay.
Like, maybe not so much...
I don't feel like there's enough great characters in The Walking Dead that would make up for not having Shane.
Like, maybe not season 1 of The Walking Dead. I think if he wasn't Shane in season 1, it still could have worked. But you take Shane out of season 2, man, and it's diabolically bad.
Imagine they killed him when they died in the comics.
I know.
When the start of episode episode is that? The one where he's eyeing up Rick. Is that sorry, episode 5?
Uh-huh. So there you go. There you go, guys. That's every episode ranked. We're back with season 3. Good stuff then and noise. Check them all out. But that's it for Shane. Until every character at the end of the show we're going to rank.
I'm not looking forward to that. That'll be a lot. I mean, that fig could literally be about 5 hours.
Yep. But see that number 1 beside you, Shane, there? You could be getting it, buddy.
It's all yours, buddy. Belongs to you.
See that gun I'm giving to you, Carl? Put it in your mouth and pull the trigger, brother. Woo! Till then. Peace.